You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nubs. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Key, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
I'm talking about shout it going crazy. People going crazy in them motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it's nothing. Nothing. Got a woman on the bed. Man made the car. Man made the train to carry the heavy load. Man made the electrolyte to keep us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water. Like the seven no man. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. And man makes them happy because man makes them joy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world.
Greetings, Black family, greetings. And thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. This is Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase. This is season 10, episode 6 of Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase in conjunction with the Frontline Black News. And on this season 10, episode 6 of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced in conjunction with the Frontline Black News, we'll be discussing several topics. The first thing is we will be discussing the new dump regime and their fuckery. And will Eric Adams, mayor of New York, be demayored by Governor Kathy Hochul? Then we got these OTB'S are begging for FBA-DOAS-FREEDMAN's help. The desperation of the Democrats with HR 40 political stunt. Then we got several Democratic mayors, including Mike Johnston, our current Denver mayor, along with Brandon Johnson of Chicago, Michelle Wu of Boston, and Eric Adams of New York City after March 5th, 2025. Then we got Mayor Johnson has got the city to pay for his legal defense fund upwards of 20 to the $2 to $20 million. Also, we will give an update on Robert Brooks' killers, who are finally being charged with murder and manslaughter. 9 total charged, 6 for murder and 3 for manslaughter in New York State Marcy prison murder. Then the racist white supremacist who shot Ralph Yarl in Kansas City 2 years ago mysteriously dies this week. The crooked DA of Clay County, Zachary Thompson, deliberately refused to bring the case against Andrew Lester, who attempted to murder 16-year-old Ralph Yarl in 2023, and now the attempted murderer has died without ever serving a day in prison. But this corrupt DA also has other racial killings that he's dragging his feet on. And then also today also would have been the 92nd birthday of Nina Simone, American singer, songwriter, pianist, composer, and arranger, and civil rights activist who passed from cancer in 2003 at the age of 70. It is also the 60th death anniversary of Malcolm X's assassination in the Ottoman Ballroom in 1965. So those are the topics. Please join us on StreamYard, YouTube, Frontline Black News, and the links to all of our channels are also in the description. All right, greetings, Shabaka. Grand Risings.
Okay, Grand Risings from Sin City, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so very, very much for joining us here February 21st, 2025. As Brother Che has stated, this is the 60th anniversary of Malcolm X's assassination. Okay, our first topic is the new dump regime. Every last one of them needs to be hooked and booked, put on a chain gang, right straight to fucking jail. Every damn one of them.
In a perfect world.
I know. Okay, so therefore it's corrupted. Okay, it's tainted. Okay, and what have you. So all you jokers out there who voted for the dump, okay, well, you're getting what you're gonna get. After all, you voted for them. I will no longer be participating in none of these fucking elections. Okay, it's all corrupt. I can't do it no more, people. Age is setting in on me, and what's highly frustrating is that when you reach a certain age, you see that people keep banging their head against the wall, expecting a different fucking result. And you've been doing this bullshit for the last fucking 60 years, people. You see, now is the time to get your mind
right.
Okay, it's because
Otherwise,
what we continue to have here is a failure to communicate. Okay. And what the problem is that you got these dummy down Negroes, you got these no good ass black ass politicians, everybody in the Congressional Black Caucus. I will have no problem of with them being kicked to the curb like the garbage that they are. And I really, really, really hate to have to say this, people, but now it's time for us to get our minds right. Okay. It didn't work. Yassa bossing and integration didn't work. It ain't gonna work. We have to become self-sufficient. Now, as I stated before, the dump got rid of DEI. Okay, Black family. What that is right there, they lowered their guard. Now it's time to come symbolically with an overhand right over that dropped guard. Okay. Build up on businesses. You say, because after all, they're getting the fucking raw materials, people, for this AI shit. You know what I'm saying? From our content.
Shout out to the brother that came out with the electrical vehicle battery.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Which is far superior to the American and European version.
Yes, sir. You see what I'm saying? And then we got to get rid of these damn, as Brother Che calls them, okay, and because this is a younger generation that I'm referring to, of these tethers that I call neo-colonialists.
Those first and second generation immigrants got to go. They are standing in the way of our progress. They have been undermining us for the last 60 years, and enough is enough. Right. Hold on, Shabaka. Exactly. I got to take this call. Just talk while
Okay. All righty. So, and anytime that we have disagreements on here is because there are those who come into our chat room, they call themselves FBAs. I stand on my square as a diasporic African. So you might call it changing of the guard, you know what I'm saying, changing of the times or what have you. But the key thing is that we become economically self-sufficient. I believe that you all could do it. I believe that 40 years from now is that you would have the true Black power. You see what I'm saying? Economically, commercially, intellectually, educationally, and financially, and just simply bring those digits together to put the opposition in their place. Black ass politicians, kiss my ass, okay? It's because you're serving everybody else's agenda except our own, you see? And one of the only Black politicians that I have respect for is a gentleman who is no longer with us, that transitioned, I believe, in 1970, over 50 years ago. That there was Adam Clayton Powell Jr., okay, who was the pastor of the Abyssinian Baptist Church up there in Harlem. Okay. Harlem was the Black Renaissance. Chicago had a Black Renaissance as well, too. You see what I mean? And then, of course, everybody started moving west.
A Black Renaissance as well.
Denver, right. As everybody started moving westbound, you know, from Denver out to LA, you see what I'm saying? Everybody, you know, was, you know, reaching out to the past, you know, to our scholars and what have you. This is why, as the X-Man had said, this is why they send prostitution down here to pacify you. They send alcohol down here to pacify you. They send dope down here to pacify you. You see, to keep your intellectual faculties blurred, so therefore you cannot focus on what's really going on. And
what's going on?
That was 1970. Yeah, that there was 1970 by Marvin Gaye. Okay. The thing is, as I stated before, I stand on my square as a diasporic African, but however, I respect those with the attitude of foundational Black Americans, is because, like the dumb did say, which he was right about, we did build this damn place. You're saying, right. Now that is
we have yet to be compensated for it, so cut the goddamn check, cut the
exactly,
bull, cut the goddamn check.
Yeah, exactly. And then keep in mind, Black family, it's 51 degrees right here at 8:15 a.m. out here in Sin City.
Oh, and about I wish it's nice and balmy. It's 32 degrees. We at the freezing mark. And
right. Okay. All righty. So hopefully by noon, you'll get some of the sun out there to melt some of that. And as you know, you got to put those, what do they call those de-icing pellets out there.
The ice pellets, yeah.
Yeah. And then too is that as we stated, the new dump regime, they out, to kick us off the planet, you know what I'm saying? But I do believe that we can survive. Okay. And as Brother Che mentioned to me.
I disagree agreeably. I don't think they come to destroy us. Yes. They come to destroy these buffer classes that they put in place of us and the white supremacists. That's what because they're begging for our help now, Shabaka. They want FBA to come to the rescue, and we are sitting it up like we set out the damn election, and they don't know what to do about it. So they're losing their money. So I have a queue set up, Shabaka.
All right.
To how we do on Frontline Black News. So I'm going to do those queues while we're waiting on some more people to get in here.
Yeah, sure. In the meantime, while you're doing that, Brother Cham.
Okay. I lost you, Shabaka. Okay, so the first one is from Professor Black Truth. And it says, Hispanics ask, where are Black people at now? Where are you at? Where are you, FBA? We don't know where FBA is. We need you to come to our rescue. And we're like, nigga, please hold your own mess.
Family and fellow soldiers, I'm the Professor, and this is the moment of truth.
Why is nobody else protesting with us? We're not the only immigrants. Latinos are not the only immigrants. There's Europeans. There's from Africa. There's from Asia. There's from all over. Where are you guys at? Why are your people not standing with us? I know you don't want to call it upon you guys, but why are we alone in this? Go look at the videos of the protests that are going on. We are fucking alone. It's all brown-skinned people.
Brown-skinned.
Where are all the other races? You guys post all these fucking videos about it, but you guys ain't doing nothing with us. Where are you guys? Why are we alone? We support everything when it comes to you guys. We are always there for you. And this is why we Latinos are just different. We're different in everything. We're different the way we work. We're different with our morals. We're just different. This is why we're so hated. Because nobody will ever be like us, because we are always there when people need us. But look at right now. We're so alone, and we're still standing strong. I think I've never been so proud of being a immigrant Latina in the USA. We're amazing. We're fucking amazing.
No, we're freaking amazing.
I wasn't gonna make a video of this because I'm like, okay, whatever. Everybody took what they wanted from it, but I'm like, no, it's getting out of hand. I don't understand why all my Black community got so offended by this. I was talking about all the other immigrants. Like I clearly said, all the other immigrants. And then another thing. I do understand that you guys fought so hard for our civil rights, and these punk Latinos for Trump came and it up. Like, I totally understand that. I hadn't thought about it when I posted that video, but like after seeing so many comments, I'm like, it's so true. Like, I can't even argue with you guys over that, right? But also have in mind, Mexican Americans or the Latinos that voted for Trump, didn't suffer the things that you guys and we immigrants have. They've always been here and had everything. So for them, it was just so selfish to go and vote for them. There's over 47 million immigrants in the United States, and we cannot vote. We cannot vote. Some of us get a work permit, so all we can do is literally work. We can't leave our country. We can't do anything. We still have to pay our taxes, but we don't have no right. We don't have no right to say anything. So immigrants are not the same as these Latinos for Trump, because we don't think selfishly. Whatever the people let him get away with, like if they see like, okay, we got all these immigrants out. Like, do you think he's done? You think his hatred is over with and his racism?
Exactly.
Man is not okay. So guess what? Guess who else he's gonna come for? You guys are gonna be next. You guys are gonna be next. And if we were united, we would be able to stop this fool, because he would see we ain't no punks and we're sticking together. But here we are being his fucking puppets and being against each other, like always.
To South Carolina. Come on.
Mr. Harvey Superboy, aka Your World, has a saying that America was founded by thieves, slaves, and opportunists. Immigration is almost exclusively economic in nature. Practically nobody immigrates due to political persecution.
Well, that's
What we've seen in the United States
Los
is people on steroids. Well, the result of that happens to be a strange amalgamation of human need and personal political desire. And that's what we see coming to a toxic head right now. But because of the fact that Black people have been the vanguard of fighting against white supremacy and all forms of oppression, truth be told, in this country and around the world, everybody takes their cues from us. Because of the unique, indeed indispensable place that we have held in the moral center of the world for so long, it's real difficult to find other people who can fill that void, mainly because nobody has. And the thing is, Black people have been doing all of this with the idea that we were trying to attract and build alliances. That's what we thought that we were doing. And yet everybody else just turned their backs on us and said, you know what, we're throwing in all of our chips with white supremacy. When DeSantis was pushing his anti-critical race theory hysteria, you had a lot of Cuban Floridians who were out there on board with it. A large number of DeSantis's campaign staff were in fact Latino, and yet many of them, like the Speaker of the Florida legislature and others, were backing DeSantis every step of the way, repeating all of his anti-Black talking points. And when Black people called out the racism, many of them were the first to say, why, it's not racist at all, because we ourselves are, quote unquote, people of color and or minorities, etc., and that they were fine with DeSantis's hate speech, so it couldn't be racist at all. And we also had similar things that were coming from the Asian community, such as people like Dinesh D'Souza and others, who were saying that they were on board with all of the anti-Black talking points from the white right, and that's because, as far as they were concerned, they were the living proof that America couldn't be racist. Why? Otherwise, how could a feckless suck-up like Dinesh D'Souza have gotten all of that right-wing money that was stuffed in his pockets? People like him are artificial successes. They're the sock puppets of white power, and white power is willing to go ahead and put a couple of pennies in his pocket until he's no longer useful to them. And the same thing goes for people like Amy Chua and others. These people are, in a ton of cases, direct employees of these right-wing think tanks. They're the ones who buy their so-called books and publish them and such, and as a result, they act as sock puppets for them. But it's also true, though, that there have been a lot of these folk who are anti-Black and have nothing to do with the right at all. Remember those racist Latino LA City Council members?
Yep.
They were all Democrats. And one of the people who was caught on those racist recordings was a labor leader, no less. Nothing conservative about any of them. And yet they were plotting specifically how to shut down Black Los Angelinos out of the city positions and to make sure that city money was intentionally diverted away from Black areas and straight to them. All the while, publicly, those same people pretended as if they didn't have a problem with Black people at all. This is how deep, indeed, sophisticated the game of anti-Black racism is. White supremacy has always understood the need for buffer groups. If you're going to keep people repressed for the long haul, you're going to need a way to keep the focus off of yourself. And that means buffer groups are going to have to be used to stand between the dominant society and those who its power is based on keeping oppressed. This is a trick as old as the Romans, by the way, which is the reason why white supremacy found it expedient to allow mass migration. Since the days of ancient Rome, bringing in large groups of outsiders as a means to basically confuse the political equation with those who are directly oppressed, that has always been a tactic used by the ruling class to go ahead and insulate themselves. What you're doing is you're tampering with the internal politics of those who are oppressed, and you're also trying to create the illusion that, well, see, the society can actually be made to work by the rules that the ruling class set up. when the reality happens to be that's not true at all. Now, the reason that you're not seeing black people who are getting out there and speaking up on this issue as far as mass deportation goes is for the same reason that you didn't see black people speaking up and deciding to take the side of the Palestinians, except for one idiot at a Kendrick Lamar halftime show. Black folks were getting on code and deciding that we are not going to get involved in third-party disputes. Why? Because these other groups do not reciprocate. It makes no sense for us to be advocating for anyone else when you got everybody else advocating against us. Now, in the past, you had some Negroes, many of them tethers, by the way, who were only too eager to jump out of a window and onto statues and hang off the roofs of buildings, losing their minds to try to prove that they were going to stand in solidarity with everyone else. See, this was the problem with all of those black folks in the 20th century who might have bought into certain Marxist ideologies. Individuals who were running around saying that it wasn't about race, it was about class, talking about the bourgeoisie and the proletariat and all that garbage. No. When you take a look at the world today, you see the white supremacy did not set up this satanic carnival along the lines of class. If that was the case, they wouldn't be messing with all of these rich black people, now would they? They set it up along the lines of color. Race is the dividing line. Class struggle is what divides white people amongst themselves. But when it comes to black people, class has nothing to do with it. And in the past, you had a whole lot of black folks, people like Macy, Jesse Jackson, John Lewis, Al Sharpton, all wanting to be the first to jump from the cameras and advocate for everybody else and make comparisons between how other people are momentarily inconvenienced and the civil rights movement. All these boomers trying to relive their heyday back in the 60s. That's what that was. And you even have people that I do have some consideration for, like Cornel West, who inappropriately called any and everybody else brother or sister, that kind of talk. That kind of rhetoric only works when people treat us like family. Now, my question is, have you seen anyone from any of these other groups who have been talking the same way about black people? No. I'll wait for that one. No. When people abuse you, call you names, your response is to call them brother and sister. That's not some kind of high-minded egalitarianism. That's self-deception.
I didn't like that.
And this is why we had to put our foot down and call an end to these civil rights retreads doing stuff like that, because they blurred the lines and created a lane for anti-black immigrants who would simultaneously make common cause with white supremacy. And then when the dominant society puts the screws to them, they get to pivot and claim that they're just like us. It needs to be remembered that you've had people, especially from these immigrant groups, who were only too happy to join in with the Ed Blums and others, attacking affirmative action such, and always making sure that they mention black people when doing so. They want to make it clear when they're talking about affirmative action, they're not talking about minorities or people of color. They're talking about black people. This is who needs to be purged from the universities, from the government, from any aspect or arena of daily life. This is about attacking black people. Now, what should have happened is whoever these individuals were who called themselves standing with the Ed Blums and others, they're the ones who should have met maximum resistance from these Asian groups, because they were the ones claiming, well, we're doing this on behalf of Asian people. Where was the pushback? We didn't see any. It's the same reason why when Peter Liang found himself actually being charged for killing a black person, there were massive protests on his behalf. Meanwhile, when you had Asians who were killed by white people, especially white police officers, there was crickets. This is what's been going on in this country for decades now. This is what's been going on for generations, truth be told. And that's the reason why black people looked and said, you know what, we're not doing this thing anymore where we're trying to be building alliances and we're going to be speaking up for every oppressed and marginalized group out there. Because what we've seen time and again is that nobody has any problem with us being oppressed and mistreated. Nobody makes it a point that they're going to be speaking up on our behalf. Instead, we get people like Amy Chua and Juju Chang, both of whom happen to be married to white men. But in their minds, they think to themselves that their job is to be the main anti-black propagandist in media. And that matters because the entire reason that we got folks from the Hispanic and Asian communities who are asking where are the black folks at a time like this is they know that there is no substitute for the moral legitimacy that foundational black Americans represent. But that's exactly what Amy Chua and Juju Chang were attempting to try to undermine. The entire purpose of getting out there and spouting racist lies, saying that black people are targeting Asians and black people hate Asians and all the rest of that, the entire reason of doing that was specifically to manufacture the lie that black people, they're just got it in for Asian people because black people, there's no real morality there. Those black people, they're not what you think. That was the entire reason of doing it. You do it so you can set black people up to be attacked afterwards. You're not doing it simply because, well, we can't really find anything else to say, so this is the gibberish we're going to throw. No. The very foundation of the black liberation struggle in this country for 500 years has been the undeniable fact that we occupy the moral high ground in an immoral society. And that being the case, how are you going to justify the racial pyramid scheme based on oppressing black people? Well, what you have to do is you have to impugn black people's morality. This is the reason why you had J. Edgar Hoover and others telling lies about Dr. King, saying that he was committing adultery and such. I have had the challenge out there for 15 plus years. Anybody who can bring any actual evidence of Dr. King doing any sort of hanky-panky. And yet we get these idiots trying to push this urban legend that, oh, Dr. King was sleeping around. There's recordings. Yeah, recordings that nobody's ever heard and that nobody can ever produce. Well, the FBI, you see, Dr. King was murdered in 1968. J. Edgar Hoover was still FBI director at that time and remained FBI director basically until his death. And that was in the 1970s. So you're telling me that J. Edgar Hoover had damning evidence about Dr. King, and apparently out of the goodness of his heart, he decided that this black man that he couldn't stand and that he spent most of his time demonizing and hounding and harassing him, that suddenly decided, well, we don't want to besmirch the good Reverend's character. Is that what I'm supposed to believe? No. These are lies. You got a bunch of people who, as far as they're concerned, they're doing the job of trying to impugn Dr. King's moral character and, by extension, impugning the black community's moral character, because that way you can justify mistreating black people on the grounds that, well, these are not moral people. And that's where you get idiots like Diane Yap and others spouting that exact same garbage. They know exactly what they're doing. So when Juju Chang was attacking black people under the guise of black people are targeting Asians, they know exactly what kind of fire they're playing with. They know what the narrative is. The narrative is it's okay to murder black people, and you really shouldn't be listening to black people about all of this Black Lives Matter stuff because, I mean, they're no different than the police when you think about it. That's the entire point of telling those lies. That's what needs to be confronted now. You want to know why it is that there's mass deportations going on? It's because all of these people who made it a point that they were going to play footsie with white supremacy, they created the conditions for white supremacy to turn around and say, well, now all of you people got to go, and you can't call it racist because for decades, the very people who white power is targeting right now have been claiming that they were either white on census forms, on job applications, and on driver's licenses, or in the cases of Amy Chua and Juju Chang and others, they would go along with the whole idea of the model minority. And that's dangerous in and of itself because it begs the question, model? Who is one modeling themselves after then? What does model mean? It's amazing how you got these very individuals who spend a lot of time dumping on black Americans. Juju Chang's real quiet right now. And so is Amy Chua, and so is Dinesh D'Souza. All of these folks, they're very quiet right now. Aren't they going to speak up about these immigration roundups? They're neither cheering them on nor are they denouncing them. They're just remaining silent. You can't even find them now. And this is the reason why you got people who are complaining, gee, we're the only ones out there. Where's everybody else? Well, by everybody else, what they mean are black people. Where are black people at? They need some black people to go out there and say, oh, this is wrong. Remember the 60s. Remember the fire hoses, this, that, and the third. Yeah, it makes sense that they would be asking where are black people at. It's because black people have always been the ones who have been out front. As I pointed out yesterday, the immigrant groups who have come here have had a ton of government programs and policies geared specifically to economically empower them. And then what happened afterwards was black people were watching this and going, well, surely these groups who we made it possible for them to come here, they are going to in turn point out, hey, black people are not being treated correctly. We need to ally ourselves with them. After all, we owe them the fact that we're even able to be here. Instead, what happened was the opposite. So where are the black people at? We're sitting this one out, just like we did with the Gaza-Israel conflict. I would suggest that any individuals who are wondering where is everybody else at, where are the black people at? Well, I would suggest that they ask Juju Chang where she's at, or ask Nuri Martinez if she can go ahead and represent for them. See if you can drag Thomas Sowell's wrinkled behind out of mothballs, and he can go ahead and repeat some of his asinine talking points about how immigrants are better than black people. They outperform black people. Immigrants, they're more successful than black people in America, and that's just because of a superior culture. The problem is cultural. Right now would be an excellent time for Thomas Sowell to go ahead and get some FaceTime in on Fox News. Believe it or not, that wrinkled up idiot is still alive, believe it or not. And yet he had a lot to say about DEI, but he hasn't had anything to say about this. Gee, I wonder why. It's because it goes against the BS narrative that he's been propped up and pushed out in front of the cameras in order to deliver for the last 50 plus years. Thomas Sowell's entire job was that white power credentialized him by giving him a degree in economics, and yet nobody ever goes to Thomas Sowell and asks his opinion when it comes to economics. When you had the economic crash back in the 80s, nobody gave a rip what he had to say about that. It was just like, well, why don't you go ahead and tell us how much better you are than black people? We got this guy who has an economics degree. He doesn't do anything with it, but, you know, an economics degree, that means he must be smarter. At the very least, we can go ahead and prop him up and say, oh, we give him some consideration. He's got an economics degree. Nobody asked him a doggone thing about the 1980s economic crash, the Great Recession. Nobody asked him anything about Bill Clinton's economic revolution in the 90s. Nobody asked him a question about anything when you had all of those corporations falling in the early aughts during W's administration, Tyco, Sunbeam, Adelphia, Enron. Nobody asked his opinion about that when the housing market imploded in 2008. Nobody asked his opinion about that, and nobody's asking his opinion about the economic malaise today. The only reason that Thomas Sowell is a thing, the only reason that anybody is cursed to know what his name is because white power invented him. He's an invention of the white right. But when you ask this guy, well, what's your area of specialty? You must be an anthropologist or something, right? Because you talk about black people all the time. You must be an ethnographer or something, right? Nope. He has no background in sociology, no background in anthropology, no background in any of that. He's supposed to be an economist, but you sure can't tell by listening because the only thing he ever does is whine and complain about black people. When it comes to economics, nobody cares what Thomas Sowell has to say.
Right.
So obviously his economics degree is not the reason why you know who he is. That's just a phony means to credentialize a sock puppet punk.
Yeah.
White power never had any permanent plans for any of the people that it uses. White power pretends to be their friend, and these people start thinking that they're on the team, that they're in some sort of alliance with the dominant society. But these white supremacists always have an exit strategy. And that exit strategy is always a double-edged sword. Not only does it give the dominant society a way for them to get out of any entanglements that they might have with their tools, but as we're witnessing, it also gives the dominant society a way to push the tools out too. All the way out. And speaking of out, that is where black people are going to stay on this issue and all of these others that have nothing to do with us. Everybody else made it where we had to hear them taking pot shots at us and telling us that apparently we were the problem, we were harming them, black people are just a bunch of failures and inferior and all the rest of it. Okay, fine then. We heard them heaping scorn on us, and now they can hear the sound of our silence. For a long time, you had a lot of these opportunists like the Amy Chuas and the Dinesh D'Souza's and others. They could not wait to have the stage, as it were, all to themselves. As far as they were concerned, like Nuri Martinez and her racist pals in LA, they were going to be marginalizing the most marginalized community in the country. They were supposed to be easing us out or just shoving us out. And after that, well, it was going to be the Nuri Martinez and her racist pals show. It was going to be the Dinesh D'Souza and the Juju Changs and their racist pals show. Well, people made it a point to say nothing when black people were being attacked by these Latin American gangs, and people were making common causes with blatant anti-black racists like Ed Blum, and that being the case, if folks wanted to have the stage, as it were, all to themselves with no black people in sight, well, there's no sense complaining when you get exactly what you ask for. Good day. And be one. I'd like to take a moment to mention some of our contributors. Frederica Moore, David Williams, Wally Belisle, Sakina Collins, and Wesley Monroe. Salute to them and thank you to everyone for listening, liking, and sharing this message. Black empowerment only exists because of you.
That's right, Shabaka. All right, what's your thoughts on the immigrants?
Everything that the professor said was true. Okay. And, that's why he's the professor. Now, I pulled up information here on how racist Karl Marx was, and I'm going to read this right here. Walter E. Williams, did you know that Karl Marx was a racist and an anti-Semite? Most people who call themselves Marxists know very little of Marx's life and have never read his 3-volume Das Kapital, Volume 1, which was published in 1867, the only volume published before his death in 1883. Volumes 2 and 3 were later edited and published in his name by his friend and collaborator, Frederick Engels. Most people who call themselves Marxists have only read his 1848 pamphlet, The Communist Manifesto, which was written with Frederick Engels. Marx is a hero to many labor union leaders and civil rights organizations, including leftist groups like Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and some Democratic Party leaders. It is easy to be Marxist if you know little of his life. Marx's predictions about capitalism and the withering away of the state turned out to be grossly wrong. What most people do not know is that Marx was a racist and an anti-Semite. When the U.S. annexed California after the Mexican-American War, Marx wrote, "Without violence, nothing is ever accomplished in the history." Then he asked, is it a misfortune that magnificent California was seized from the lazy Mexicans who did not know what to do with it? Frederick Engels added, in America, we have witnessed the conquest of Mexico and have rejoiced at it. It is to the interest of its own development that Mexico will be placed under the tutelage of the U.S. Many of Marx's racist ideas was reported in Karl Marx, Racist, a book written by Nathaniel Well, a former member of the U.S. Communist Party. Okay, in 1887, Paul Lafargue, who was Marx's son-in-law, was a candidate for a consul seat in Paris, a district that contained a zoo. Yeah, that same zoo that they had, what do they call her? Sarah Bartman on. Okay.
Yeah, Sarah Bartman. That's what we was talking about the other day on front.
Yes, sir.
Last week. Go ahead.
Yeah. And Engels claimed that Paul had 1/8 or 1/12 nigger blood. So, which means in a great country of the United States during slavery, his black ass would qualify for the auction block. And in 1880,
yeah, you have to have a drop of black blood.
Yeah, look at a movie called Band of Angels. It will tell you all of that. Also, to The Imitation of Life. And in 1887, letter to Paul's wife, Engels wrote, being in his quality as a nigger, a degree nearer to the rest of the animal kingdom than the rest of us, he is undoubtedly the most appropriate representative of that district. Marx's anti-Semitic views were no secret. In 1844, he published an essay entitled On the Jewish Question. He wrote that the worldly religion of Jews was huckstering and that the Jews' God was money. Marx's view of Jews was that they could only become an emancipated ethnicity or culture when they no longer exist. Just one step short of calling for genocide. Marx says, the classes and the races too weak to master the new conditions of life must give away. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so, we hate to be the bearer of bad news on Marx, but however, it is what it is, okay? So this is why we must become self-sufficient, particularly with the new dump regime in, okay? Moving on to our next subject, okay. Eric Adams, demayored. Yeah, Eric Adams, that pineapple bowling ball head trick, is about to be shut down, and this is the problem, as the professor had said, that when you get these hand-picked bootlegs, the only thing they're going to do is serve their oppressors and not the black community. Just as when he first got elected, sister asked him, well, hey, man, what are you going to do for the black community? What did he do? He walked on by, not paying her no mind. You see, so fuck voting, okay? It did not work and it will not work, okay? We need to build up our own economical structures is because that is the only way, ladies and gentlemen, that we are going to survive, you see? And this is why I stand on my square of being a diasporic African. And then also, too, as Brother Che had pointed out today, March 60th, anniversary of the assassination of Malcolm X.
Yeah, the 60th.
Yeah, the 60th. Yeah, and he was only 39 years old when he died. Had he stayed alive, he would have been 99 to this day. And of course, we do know that this year he would have been 100 years old on May 17th. Okay. All right. So we appreciate the brother, and I opinion that had the brother lived another 10 years, he would have reversed himself just off of economical necessity and seeing a blatant, flagrant racism of what it was and what it is to this day. Yes, and then keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, be careful with artificial intelligence, although that they got the internet, from our ideas, as a sister who developed it, and the same thing with the ladies of the Hidden Figures in the early 1960s, which was the groundwork of all this high-tech spaceology that you have today. So it's us.
Yeah, they got the Hidden Figures from Hidden Colors. That was their response to Hidden Colors. But there was a whole documentary series that came out before then called Hidden Colors that Tariq Nasheed came up with. And that's where the Hidden Figures from. But go ahead.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So therefore, Eric Adams, since we're on him now,
we on him in Black Light Revelations. Our brother Rob is going to give us an update on that.
Okay.
So will Eric Adams be demared by Kathy Hochul?
Yeah, I go in the casino, man, and drop $5 that he will be.
So Kathy Hochul is going to dethrone him. Apparently, she has the power to do so.
That's a very interesting state constitutional thing in New York State. I don't think they have that in California or Nevada.
Or Colorado.
Past criminal records. Or, if this just happened to be on Interpol's radar, which is wild to begin with.
Try to prosecute him for illegally re-entering the country.
Elliston says the Trump administration is sending a much stronger immigration message. Is it different from what we've seen before?
Yeah, the handcuffs are off. Before it was you had to meet a certain criteria to be arrested. Now we're enforcing the law written by Congress, right? If you're illegally here and we come across you, you're going to get arrested.
What do you say to critics who say, this is too much? ICE is doing too much right now. We have migrants who are part of the fabric of this community and they deserve to be here.
So if you deserve to be here, I wouldn't say you broke the law to be here, right? We have a lawful process to come into the United States, which includes asylum.
As for the people today, after they are taken back to the Baltimore field office, where are they likely going to go?
Because the state passed dignity not detention, we will no longer house them in Maryland. So we will pull them away from their families and attorneys and we'll send them elsewhere in the United States. I think so far we have bed space today for El Paso, Texas.
This enforcement action wraps up.
We still have 2 of our targets
there.
One and the other one's a gang member.
The promise to continue is made.
One of them is wanted for murder. The other is a gang member. This is what I'm saying about the quote-unquote pro-crime culture. Pro-crime culture is fighting for these people to not get arrested. Somebody make it make sense.
We'll be out all week looking for these guys. We'll make sure that they get in with us.
Okay, so therefore, as you can see by his vest, is that he is enforcing policy.
Yeah, so there's that.
So he's enforcing policy. The police are policy.
Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look. We've been watching a lot of local news. We're gonna take a look at what NBC here has to say about the Eric Adams situation. Right? There's a lot going on with this Eric Adams situation. We're gonna take a look at this. Hold on, we're gonna take a look at that. Let's see what else we got. Give me 2 seconds. Real quick, if y'all haven't smashed the like button yet.
Yeah, make sure you do the same.
Smash that Black News because we cannot promote two motherfuckers no more unless you paying us. We broke.
Do the president. What favor was there? What was there that couldn't be done by the Trump administration without Eric Adams' compliance? What did he do? Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo said Eric and Trump are friends like Houdini raps. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I've always said, Trump rocks with Eric Adams. You know what I'm saying?
I got a question.
But at the same time, though, right, as far as the legal situation goes,
The question
is, what assistance?
If this chrome dome bastard right here, okay, with them elephant ears, was lying there in the hospital needing a blood transfusion, would you give it to him if your blood was a match?
Just on the strength that he's FBA and black, yeah.
I wouldn't. He's dangerous. He's a counterman to our progress. You see what I'm saying?
It depends on how you look at it, Shabaka. He wouldn't.
But that's an opinion. But that's an opinion, Brother Shay. That's that's an opinion. Okay, but if you came asking me for some blood, no. I can't, because you didn't do nothing for our people. You see what I mean?
That's true.
If you did something for our people, I really don't believe in blood transfusions except from relative to relative. Okay. I would consider it. I would say that, if he was righteous. But this dude is not righteous. He's serving everybody else's agenda except ours. That's not intelligent. That's not intelligent. You see what I mean? And our chat room is open for comments. We do understand this is early in the morning and everybody's probably at work and what have you, making a living.
Oh, the MD's in the building. Shout out to the MD. He was live.
Hey, MD, what's happening? Yeah, MD, man. I mean, I'm just, saying it, man. We aren't giving all these other damn groups too much and not giving enough of ourselves to ourselves. You see, the house nigga syndrome is over. Exactly, Jab. Exactly. You see, the house nigga syndrome is over. And Samuel L. Jackson, you welcome to get with us as well, too, is because the only movie that I respected you in, Samuel L. Jackson, was A Time to Kill, where you played the part of a black father who wouldn't kill the sons of bitches that violated his daughter.
Yeah.
But that Sambo dancing shit, man, you did at the Super Bowl, man. I can't stomach that, man. I cannot stomach that.
We have to take the role of Uncle Sam, Shabaka. He had to play the game. Kendrick had to play the American game.
Okay, but hold on, though, Brother Che. Now, if Samuel L. Jackson was an up-and-coming actor, I would agree with you. But he is an established actor. You see what I'm saying? So his cup runneth over. He can pick and choose his parts. You see what I'm saying? And not starve. You see, but if he was up and coming,
the same guy that played in Django Unchained, Steven.
Yeah, you see, and he was at the level, man, that at that time where he could have picked and chose his roles. But I did like him when they remade Shaft. And the part that I really dug in the remaking of Shaft, the mother of the black man that was killed by Christian Bale. Okay. And Mr. Bell, this is nothing against you. You are an actor. You played the part of an avid white racist, and you did it quite well because I thoroughly despised you in the movie. Okay. But however, Mr. Bell, that's what you do for a living, and you got to make the character believable. But the part that I dug at the end, here's the part that I really liked, is when Lynn Thigpen had went up there to Shaft, and Shaft went to her, Samuel L. Jackson, well, you're going to get justice in the court today. And Lynn Thigpen smiled and says, yes, I know we will. So when he was taken out the courthouse, she went and dumped on his ass. So can I believe she discharged 3 rounds and she threw down the weapon because she made the ultimate sacrifice for her child. Okay, who was played by the up-and-coming actor at the time, the one and only Mekhi Phifer. You know what I'm saying? And shout out there to Mekhi Phifer, particularly in the movie Soul Food and what have you. You see? So what it is, people, unless that we come together, okay, and start,
we just can't come together. What's the purpose of us coming together? It's got to be a productive and constructive purpose. Otherwise,
exactly. We're wasting time. Oh, I agree with you on that there, Brother Jay. Yeah, that is absolutely there. Correct. So Eric Adams, fuck him. You know what I'm saying? He thought he was above the law.
Let's get to the clip about him, and then we're doing dialogue about his punk ass. How about that?
Okay.
They said that Eric Adams is offering "quote unquote" assistance to the Trump administration with the migrant busts. Yeah. Shout out to Black Spider. That is 100% facts. If you guys agree with Black Spider, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Black Spider said Eric is the only one that said the immigrants are destroying his city live on camera.
Yep,
that's when they turned on it. Yeah, that's when a lot of the denials for the funding requests started too.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So what's interesting about this?
He went against his party.
Is that they can do whatever they want to with this, as far as this whole quote unquote idea of quid pro quo, unless they're able to quote unquote produce evidence. This isn't going to go anywhere because this is all based on rumor and it's based on hearsay and it's based on nothing material.
Yep.
And then keep in mind, he is
absolutely. Shout out to Kiko. Kiko said, to be honest, Eric started asking for help before Trump got in office. Then Biden brought those charges. Yep. Right. So the thing is, I want you guys to understand. They're saying that Eric Adams is doing quid pro quo for the very thing that got him the charges put on him allegedly. So how can that happen? So how can he be asking? How can he be working for quid pro quo when, for the most part, nothing has really changed with Eric Adams? Like, he's been on Fox a couple times and he talked to Tom Homan. That's all. That's all it takes to get in trouble. Pro quo is going.
Yeah, he was on Fox.
Go on Fox.
And
boom.
Tom Homan was all up in
that's
his
it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
hey,
like, now all the immigrants go because they went on Fox.
Shit or
you know what I'm saying? He chopped it up with Tom Homan maybe 2 or 3 times. Boom, the immigrants gone. That was the assistance. Like, where is the assistance? Because make no mistake, Eric Adams hasn't complied 100% with immigration. He didn't comply. He's not just turning over all the immigrants. He said you can have access to the prisons and you can get
the right shit or else
the criminal migrants on the street. That's not compliance with quote-unquote sweeping deportations.
That's bullshit.
Is it?
Okay, well.
Also, if Eric Adams is only doing this for Trump, then how do we explain the articles from the New York Times?
This guy doesn't know how law works.
Post,
MD20.
railing Eric Adams for quote unquote being anti-migrant when he was talking about cutting certain amounts of funding. How does that happen? You know what I'm saying?
I disagree.
Shout out to Carlton. Carlton says, remember when Adams cut the sanitation budget to feed the migrants? Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Remember when he cut them checks?
Wow.
Yeah, he did.
What was he doing? Giving him $7,500 a month or something like that?
And he hit him up with the MasterCard gift cards. Here, I got this card. Like, what?
Wow, Black New Yorkers starving to death and dying on the streets.
Yeah, shout out to Black Spider. Black Spider said they searched his home, tried to humiliate him, but he stood strong. Yeah. He's still standing pretty strong. And what else I want you guys to see is that, he is, for the most part, he trying to stand on something, right? And I want you guys to notice, do you notice the majority of people who are hanging on to what he did before? He was with the migrant stuff, and he was trying to help the Biden administration and all that. Do you notice? So what you need to understand is that there's no changing of course. It doesn't matter if you change, right? The only thing that matters is what people want to hang on to, and that's just it. There's still people that are like, they're not being accurate with what's going on with current times. He did XYZ at one time. He needs to go to jail for 40 years. Well, he hasn't gotten found guilty of anything now. Put him in jail for 40 years.
Yeah.
And being compliant with the migrant crisis during the Biden administration.
Man, let me up. Yeah. Put MD up, man.
I'm sorry, that's not going to land you 40 years in jail, whether you like it or not. But now that he's changed course, he sees that the Democrats are not going to help him with the money. He sees that it's not feasible. He says, okay, let's try something else. No one cares that he's trying something else. It's only, he's just doing that for a party. And this is what he said 2-3 years ago. So again, the system of rolling double standards, the system of inconsistencies, the system of we don't have to pay attention to what's going on right now, because if anything was ever done that appeases the emotions at one point in time, that is the only thing that we focus on, despite the fact whether there was a 180-degree turn or 360-degree turn. And that's just it. And we'll run to Kathy Hochul to contribute to the lynching of Eric Adams.
MD, can you hear it?
And now,
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I'm waiting for the video to fall.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to come up real quick. What this guy is talking about is complete nonsense.
Okay. And
does anybody know what an earmark means?
That means that the money has been
it has to do with money that has either been paid or is being designated for a particular individual purpose or cause, if that makes sense.
Correct. All the money that was spent. Now I'm not justifying or defending this crazy amount of money being spent on immigrants. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, billions of dollars.
I don't disagree, and it's a problem. I don't disagree. But it didn't come out of the New York City budget. That's a falsehood. That's a lie.
So he didn't have
That's a lie.
He didn't have to make cuts to the budget as a result.
That was separate to the overall management of what the budget was. Look, when they earmarked money, that earmark was specific for a specific purpose. We all agree with that. If the money that was spent on immigrants in New York City came directly from the federal budget. Directly.
He didn't get no federal money. That's a lot. He didn't get no federal money. He had went to them 3 times, MD, to try to get some federal money. He didn't get no federal money. That's why.
That's fine. I'll let you have that argument. I can pull it up and we'll have that discussion later on, and I can show it to you. Money was definitely earmarked to New York City. If I had to make the direct argument, I would say the most money was earmarked to New York City.
The most money on immigration.
It's called earmarking, Jesse. Again, I'm not disagreeing with the stance. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm telling you it's bullshit. But I'm also telling you that specific money was earmarked for a specific purpose. We can all agree that was for immigration. Yeah. The reason that he had to do the budget ends as it pertains to the sanitation was a direct effect on how they balanced the budget. Don't get mad at the federal government for that. That was all on Eric Adams. Some bullshit was going on, is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Why was there a reason for him to make these specific cuts when we know and the paper trail is there that he had the sufficient amount of funds that were earmarked to him to facilitate the immigration situation? I'm telling you, Mary Adams is just like most Negroes in government, corrupt.
Right.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, like London Bridge and Uncle Tom Bradley. Yes, sir.
This thing between Eric Adams and Trump has been festering before the election of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
How do we know this? Because a corrupt Negro in government, whichever way the wind blows, that's where his ass goes.
Right.
He saw the writing on the wall as it pertains to what I guess you would say the consensus was in regards to how the executive branch was going to go. Also, remember in the report when they start the formal investigation, they said that he got wind of them investigating him in the federal government. So he said, "Oh shit, I better do something quick." Only a corrupt politician can go from one end of saying we're a sanctuary city.
Yeah, we stand we welcome you.
And then go to the opposite side of the spectrum, and now all of a sudden they tearing up my city. We got that. It don't work like that. Ain't nobody got no change of heart in a snap just like that.
Yeah,
without something significant. Right.
Yeah,
Unless something significant happened to them personally. So that's all bullshit. Eric Adams is a scumbag. That's what he is.
Yes, sir.
Well, he's a former pig too.
Yeah, New York police captain. Yeah. Now, how many black men did he set up coming up through the ranks on an NYPD, just like Uncle Tom Bradley of Los Angeles? You see what I'm saying? Who was the first black lieutenant on the LAPD. Now, here's one for you, MD, not getting off topic. Then you had the first black captain on the LAPD by the name of Jesse Brewer. And guess what the fuck Jesse Brewer gave the LAPD that every major police department has around to this day? I give you 2 guesses.
Wow. I don't know, man. You out there like.
Yes, sir. It's called SWAT. SWAT, yeah. The Special Weapons and Tactics Team, SWAT. Yeah. Yeah. And guess who was invented for, ladies and gentlemen? You guessed it. The Black Panthers.
Yep.
Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? And that is for real. You see what I mean? So what it is, MD.
You have to say on the matter. I'm just trying to play
MD. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's all I wanted to come up and say, man. It's a lot of misconception with what Adams' role was as it pertains to facilitating a lot of this a lot of this stuff with immigration. Not to mention, you know, Eric Adams was only the facilitator of where the funds was how they were supposed to be appropriated within the city.
Yeah.
You can't like step back and not look at the New York the commissioner board. You gotta look at it because those are the people that's really doing the moving and shaking.
Yeah, like
you know what I'm saying, as it pertains to where stuff goes.
That's
the New York State supervisors or commissioners.
Right.
Yeah, that is the truth.
I just wanted to. Yeah, I just wanted to come up and say that, man, because I was listening to a lot of stuff that he was saying, and it's almost as if like he trying to say that Eric Adams had some type of divine intervention or a sense of enlightenment. Man, he don't give a damn about none of this stuff. What's gonna line his pocket?
Yeah,
that's what he gives a damn about.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to come up and say that, man. Appreciate y'all for letting me come through.
Yes, sir.
Okay, appreciate you, MD20. It's always a pleasure,
you would have
brother.
to prove that for his compliance, the case was dropped. It doesn't make sense for that to happen. He doesn't have any for the case to get dropped as a result of anything that Eric Adams will do. It's almost like Eric Adams has something over the Trump administration. Yeah, you know, if you don't drop my case, you know, I might have to play this recording to the judge. What recording? Like he doesn't have anything to offer them.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this would be a deal up.
But how does he know
You know what I'm
that?
saying?
He don't know that.
It's all speculation.
Shout out to DeAndre. DeAndre said it's funny how the Democrats
take this in consideration.
To stay out of jail after they put papers on
the feds just can't drop your case just because they say they want to drop it. It don't work like that.
After they put
the judge got to have, just like you got to have probable cause to charge somebody.
Yeah.
You got to have probable cause to drop the charge.
Yep.
So and they don't have probable cause.
Yes, so you do have a
probable cause. They have to drop the charges because they have the charges on them for a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's BS what this dude talking about. In order for the judge to drop these charges, he got to know explicitly why.
Yeah.
And that has not been said.
Okay, let's just say it in the clip.
That's all. I'm going, y'all. I'm listening in. Peace.
Okay,
MD20, thank you for joining us, brother. You know what I'm saying? Please hit us in the chat room, man, if you can, if he's able to. You know what I'm saying? It's always a pleasure having MD20. Yeah.
And the thing is of course people are trying to, like, let's just keep it a buck. Bloomberg or Cuomo.
She gonna play the damn clip.
Now remember, this is the same Kathy Hochul right? This the same Kathy Hochul with that G Unit in Mobb Deep. Bump that. This nigga want to run my city. I'm about to get shitty and give it to him, nigga. Illogical nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was hoping it was actually going to play the clip.
It's not promised anything. The attorney for the mayor said, no, he not promised anything. He said it never.
Favor did the mayor do the the charges put on him allegedly 2-3 years ago. So again,
it's not promised anything. The attorney for the mayor said, no, he not promised anything. He said it never happened here. Can you allow me? He said, I am ready to raise my right hand now and testify there was no quid pro quo agreement between prosecutors and Adams that he would deliver on immigration issues from the Trump administration in exchange for dismissing the charges without prejudice. And so at the end of that, the judge said, I'm taking it all under advisement and he will rule at a later time. Okay.
Rahima, the mayor has really been defiant, right, since the moment.
Shout out to DeAndre. What's good with it? So now, and then they say that the mayor's been defiant. I mean, I would go as far as to say, if we're going to talk about quote unquote defiance, why not talk about the defiance that actually got the eyes on him? Like the defiance that, shout out to Black Spider, that Black Spider was talking about when he said, we can't keep doing this. Biden administration ain't going to give us the funding. We can't keep doing it without the funding. It's hard enough to do it with the funding. We can't do this. It's going to destroy the city. Boom.
I remember when he said that.
Right.
Okay, Kahari's in the building.
Yeah, all right. Hey, what's going on with you, brother? How you doing? Win, lose, it's entertainment. What's up? We crumb bumming on this scum, Eric Adams, man. You know what I'm saying? And what have you, And then our next subject, man, is going to be...
He's in the building.
Oh, okay. All righty.
Yeah, so he could bring the charges back later, but they're trying to make it seem like he got off.
Oh, okay. All right, MD20. Okay.
Holly, thank you for joining us for Grand Rising.
What's up?
Hey, what's going on, Kahari? And then let me say this here, MD20, what you just said right there goes to show, man, about these damn kangaroo-ass courts that keep hopping from shit to shit to shit to shit to shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that statement that MD made right there, man, is about these damn kangaroo-ass courts. You know what I mean? And then, okay, and also too, I got a text here from Dynamite. He's asking, man, to send him the text, the link again. Okay, brother Paris. Okay, so I'm gonna try to send it to Dynamite again right here.
Yes.
All right, have him come up. Okay, come on now. Where's Dynamite? Dynamite. Earth's calling Dynamite.
Right.
Earth's calling Dynamite.
Kahari, what's your thoughts on Eric Adams? Getting
I really don't know who Eric Adams is, but I just got
he's the mayor of New York.
On lunch break right now, so I just came in.
Right.
Is she she Democratic?
He
yes,
is.
sir.
He's a Democrat, yeah.
I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like she just like the rest of the Democrats. That's how I feel like.
Well, this one in particular, he's like one of the moderate Democrats, so he could go either way with the shit. So now he's leaning more Republican because the Democrats practiced lawfare on him when Biden was still in office. So now that he done supposedly got off on all these charges they done put on him, he's leaning more to being a Republican now. And he's up for re-election. So he might run as a Republican as opposed to a Democrat.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So we were listening to a clip from Black Light Revelations, Brother Rob, about that, and then the MD hopped up and said his piece about the situation. Remember, without prejudice means that they can bring charges back later. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but Shabaka has yet to tell us what he is guilty of. He said that
Eric Adams?
Yes.
Okay. Corruption. Okay. Also, too, not protecting the rights of Black folks. Okay. When he was in the police department. And then also, too, giving all them damn migrants, man, what was it, $7,500? You know what I mean?
$7,500.
Yeah, $7,500. Yeah, motherfuckers up here, man, having $7,500 on gift cards, man, and we can't even get $50 for the goddamn reparations, man. What kind of shit is that? You know? But yeah, but we all the same and all that shit. Yeah, right. Pissing on my head, telling me it's rain again. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's just and this crap is getting ridiculous, Black family. You know what I'm saying?
So the white lady on the screen next to Eric Adams, she's the governor of New York, Kahari, and she has the power to dethrone him as mayor, so he won't even be able to run for mayor again. Like, this would just be it for him.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so Senator, I sent the link to Black Dynamite to see what Dynamite's got to say. And then on top of it, you see,
and then also we were talking about how these other groups are freaking out because we're not coming to their rescue.
Oh, yeah, that's the part I really want to get to. You see what I'm saying?
I got something to say on that too.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay, well, why don't you start us off? Why don't you start us off on that one there, Kahari?
I just feel like when it comes to that, a lot of them, they don't relate to Black Americans like they say they do.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like every time something goes on, they benefit from it. So for example, like the Black Lives Matter with George Floyd.
Yeah.
A lot of them benefit from that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But now when the rabbit gets the gun, it's not fun no more. All the time they benefit from us, from civil rights movement, from the military, anything that's dealing with white supremacy, they just benefit from that.
Right. And then in the building,
power.
Mm-hmm.
Power.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I feel like they benefit like through oppression of us and all that.
Oh yes, sir. Yeah, most definitely.
Why should we help when they had the upper hand the whole time? But now when it comes to deportation and all that, it's like they want us, but yet they never helped us. If we was trying to, and plus we were trying to come together to tell them the truth about how politics is, but now it's like when they see it, they're like, "Oh, I need you now." But the whole time we're trying to help you all along. And then on top of that, when they get what they want, they leave us to the curb. But now when they need us, we do the same. So I just feel like two races can't understand each other because they've been through two different types of struggles. That's how
that part. Yeah. They say
unless like y'all grew up in the same area together, then that may be different. But outside of that, y'all not gonna really understand each other. My struggles, like if I was to marry an Asian woman or if I was to marry a Latino woman and I told her about my struggles, she wouldn't understand me. She'd be like, "What do you mean?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not racist. But the only reason she's saying that because she's a different race and she benefits from the system itself.
Yeah, currently.
Yeah. That's all I gotta say on it.
Thank you, Kahari. I share your sentiments. I just wanted to
share.
Yes,
sir. Also, too, we got Sheikh Imam Akbar off in the chat room as well, too.
We are joined with Akbar. Greetings
to you all.
And, hey, good morning, Imam. How you be?
Hey, Mr. Shankar. I'm happy to hear you and all of the crew there.
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to say greetings to everyone. This is, I think, one of my first airings as an ambassador of Sheikh Imam Akbar. My network has have entitled me the ambassador of Sheikh Imam Akbar for the Black Revolution. I feel very honored to serve with you, all of you on the front line. And we'll be greeting you from Atlanta over the weekend. We have a conference and Saviors Day in Atlanta, Georgia over the weekend. So I just will give you the greetings, and we'll be on our way.
Sorry, you up here twice. You're going to have to get off on the other one. Sorry, she.
Okay, and then also too, Ambassador.
Kick one of them out. Kick one of them. I don't know, cause like it keep kicking me out. So
okay, see, that's them and that bullshit with them algorithms. You see, but as you know, Imam, is that today is the 60th anniversary, I hate to say, of the assassination of Malcolm X in 1965 up there at the Audubon Ballroom and Harlem, New York. Okay. And
we acknowledge the fact, and I guess we've had 3 or 4 days of it, maybe have on the wrong day. So, but nevertheless, we acknowledge we ride to New York on most of these occasions, and having not been going to Saviors Day this year.
Yeah,
but I would like people to weigh in on the real Malcolm X, who took orders from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes,
that's what made and shaped him socially, spiritually, intellectually, and politically as a political giant among Black people. And those are the teachings that made him successful. And many people don't weigh in on the impact of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who again ordered him on a social political move, ordered Malcolm to stand down because when the chickens come home to roost, that's the only president that the Black people liked, according to Elijah Muhammad say. So you should stand down. So we need to think over. If Malcolm had taken the orders from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, would history be celebrated quite differently had he took the orders? Because anybody can take an order. Remember that. But not everybody can carry out those goddamn orders. It's a different thing, you see. And you have to weigh all facts and circumstances and take introspection. And Elijah Muhammad said to think 5 times before you speak. Think 5 times before you move. And maybe then you'll be talking and walking and thinking and acting and moving rightly. And we call on you and appeal to you to be forthright in this hour and all of your aspirations, all of your gettings, get thee an understanding and say, my. Thank you for allowing me to share those words with you. And peace.
Okay, absolutely. It's always a pleasure.
Your family. And your network.
And then,
may you be successful, as Malcolm said, in all of your endeavors. My.
Yes, sir. And then also, too, Imam, I'm going to give you a call later on today. Okay.
Thank you, brother. You always do, just like you always do, brother. A very dependable brother, a forthright brother. Shangori is a very a different brother situated in the west side, but look like he from all over. We say, where you from, brother? I say, well, I'm from all over. I just so you're doing the work all over, and we thank you, man, for always providing the outlet for revolution, and peace to you and this whole network. Thank you.
Yes, sir, because thank you, sir. And keep in mind, Black family, all we got is each other, is because these other groups are sure shit stink is running for the hills. You know, we are all we got. So any type of internal conflicts that we have, please let them stay in-house, okay? Also, too, let's try to have some type of resolve, okay? It's because we is all we got. You see, because you could best believe, you know, when they start sending out here these race soldiers to kill us again,
just like they want us to be out there so they can send the race soldiers out there to kill us again.
Yes, sir. And this is why always
they want us to be the cat in the fire. They want us to get the beatings and the hosings and all that while they roll off into the sunset. No, them days are over.
Yeah, man, because it didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work. And even Dr. King has said in his letter from the Birmingham jail, it's very, very interesting that, he was speaking to other people who are in the clergy, okay, these different races. But why is it when we look at file footage, right, and we see those fire hoses up there, how come it's only black people that we see? And then Frogface got up there and stated how he honestly felt segregation yesterday.
Black children, they was doing that to black children. It was.
Oh, yeah. All of them, Brother Che, all of them, brother. And then for you damn tethers out there, if your black ass was down there too, you'd be getting hit with them fire hoses as well too. For all the ones, as you pointed out, Brother Che, that just want to come take. Yeah, see your asses wasn't out there in them damn fire hoses. You see what I'm saying?
See them out there. You didn't even see them out there protesting with them. All those protests, it was nothing but white people and OTBs.
Yeah, exactly.
Black power.
What do you got to say about Eric Adams and the fact?
No, about what you just said. I don't want to go off on topics that no, you hit home with that one. I just wanted to add that when they had those hoses. Hoses ripped the skin off of folks. It ripped the breast off of women, and it's basically like a weapon. It's like a sword. That fire hose itself. So I just wanted to add on to that because the brutality that they had coming out through George Wallace and all them other racist pigs.
They said they smile. Fuck frog face.
Yeah. So basically, Black Power. I'll come back on that other thing you said, but I just wanted to put that in there because it's not just like we got hit with water. I want people to understand that water was like high powered down the street, hit your head into a building, knock your head into a building, bust your head open, that kind of thing. Black
Yes, sir. And then the cold part about it is water, believe it or not, water is one of the Earth's most destructive forces. Water has oxygen in it. Water breeds life for agriculture. You see what I'm saying? Water is heavy. You know what I mean? It really is heavy, you see? And they putting all this garbage in it, probably targeting us. You see what I'm saying? I don't drink tap water for shit. It's garbage.
I avoid it at all costs. I drink filtered or bottled water.
Exactly.
Cook with bottled water too.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
I heard a report said that if you take the water, wait a minute, hold on, put on camera. If you take the water and purify it and then boil it, you've just brought up all the toxins. So it's better to boil it and then purify.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And then to prove your point even further, so Black Lightning, I went up to Washington State, the Evergreen State in in the Northwest, or the PMW, the Pacific Northwest, right? Okay, so I was drinking the water up there, okay? I get back to California after about 3-4 months maybe, right? And I performed an experiment. I took some tap water, man, and put it up to my face, man. I smelled chlorine, ammonia, bleach, made my eyes water, man. I couldn't consume it, man. I dumped it out, you see? Yeah. So your body, okay, when you flush it out, is gonna reject, impurities, you see? So you wanna keep this up, people, while you're young. It's because everything in your body is working while you're young. But when you get up off into my age group, everything starts deteriorating just off the natural law of biophysics. You see what I mean?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so that is very, very important. And this is why it's important, with our food and stuff like that. Now, getting back, and I want to hear your comments on this here too, Black Lightning and Brother Kahari. These OTBs, meaning other blacks, begging foundational Black Americans, is Brother Day.
Other than Black. OTB is other than Black.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? These other groups, okay, they're not interested in us, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. They're out there serving their cause, building for themselves. I don't have a problem with it. Okay. But don't come up here and step on our shit and ask us to help you when you don't want to help us. This is not racism. It's called self-preservation.
Right.
I mean? Like that old saying, man, how can I help you with your backyard when mine is in shambles?
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? You see, and that's not hatred. That's not racism. You see what I mean? And then, of course, too,
Shabaka, they have used us for an numerical value and then abandoned us in our time of need. And that's the same thing that the Democrats have done to us as well.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, without a doubt, man, without a doubt. You see, and then the cold part about it is that we, and I believe what's his name had said it best in the late 50s, was it Jackie Robinson? And correct me if I'm wrong, that we was the most law-abiding citizens going. Why? Because, we didn't want to go to prison. We tried to do things, particularly in Black Los Angeles, like with Dr. Ralph Bunch, who was from LA. And then not to mention Paul Williams, the first Black architect who went and designed, hotels in Beverly Hills, mansions for movie stars, but he couldn't go into the community. You see what I'm saying? He couldn't go into the community. And I remember as a teenager, in my early 20s, I'm driving through Beverly Hills. I get pulled over by the Beverly Hills PD. So license, registration, you know what I'm saying? Hey, is this car yours yet? You know what the Beverly Hills PD told me? Man, you turn around and you go back across La Cienega, man. Don't let us catch you up in here. Okay. He told me how he
it was Jackie Robinson that said that.
It was? Oh, okay. All right. Okay, and then to quote Jackie Robinson, shortly before his death in 1972, he had stated that I knew in 1919, as I knew in 1947, as I know in 1972, shortly before he died, I never had it made.
Never.
And as I stated, one day when I was walking through the streets of Pasadena, California, down a residential street,
where the Eaton fire destroyed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I tripped over it, and lo and behold, I looked down there at the plaque that said, "This is the home of Jackie Robinson," where he grew up at, when he had moved from the South to Pasadena, California, because I believe his family moved him there when he was about 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah, he was very young when they moved. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You see, as they say, heading out to California, the land of milk and honey and stuff like that, and then of course we was red line, sequestered to our own communities.
Red line, segregated. That's why the crew started. The crew started to protect the neighborhoods from the white supremacist gangs that was running
the community resources of independent people.
Yeah, the community resources of independent people, correct.
Yes, sir. And then the cold part about it is, everybody's trying to get there to get to Hollywood. Hey, great, fine, beautiful. But however, Hollywood had his way of doing things. We're not going to talk about the tragedy of Dorothy Dandridge. We're not going to talk about what our man Sidney Poitier had went through and Harry Belafonte. And this is why I will always quote the line from In the Heat of the Night by Sidney Poitier. You got colored time in jail and you got white time in jail. And the worst kind of time to do is colored time.
All right, Shabaka, so moving along.
Yes, sir.
I was going to play another clip of these illegals asking for our help.
Okay, and then our next topic is Democrats H.R. 40.
Yeah.
And Den Mayor was going to jail. And then, of course, the Denver mayor and his BS.
Yeah.
And then a corrupt DA and Miss Nina Simone. And it's the anniversary of the assassination of El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz.
Well, tonight on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, more and more FBA. They've been coming out, speaking about all these other groups and how they will not leave us alone. We've told them we chilling. We told them we resting. Y'all handle it on your own. Some of these other groups feel like they're better than us because where they come from. Some of these other groups say they better than us because they hard working. I mean, I laugh at that when they say that, right? I'm like, you so hard working, why you do that where you come from? Right? Some of these other groups just don't like us because we black, you know, whatever the case may be, right? But yet them same people, they want us to come out and actually do something. Oh, y'all do something. Oh, black people. And I'm so glad brothers and sisters are speaking out about this. Case in point, listen to what this sister got to say.
I'm so proud of the black community because, baby, they doing everything they can to get our attention, including talking about these white nationalist movements and all types of stuff. They doing all types of bait and switches to try and get us up out of our comfort zone, to try and get us up out of our seats and try to get us to move, especially black women. Like, they're especially doing stuff to target black women online. Meanwhile, we've been at home just, ooh, that's nice. I don't know what you want us to do. I don't know what the oh my God, Elon Musk and the Dodge team is trying to steal $8 billion. They cooking the books. So he been doing like that. Oh my gosh, Donald Trump just tried to take away the congressional review, the judicial review. So y'all didn't give up when they was literally when they was doing that to black people on the streets of LA, Philadelphia, and practically everywhere else in this entire country. It was literally guilty until proven innocent for us, and we were still riding hard for everybody, equality for everybody. Now you mad because the person y'all actually chose to be the president is being the president, and he's playing chess. He's playing Monopoly right now. I don't know what game he's playing. I can't keep score. I really don't care. It's somebody else's issue right now. It's somebody else's issue. And then every other day, there's planes falling out of the sky. Okay. I mean, we tried to tell y'all. I believe, in fact, it was a black woman who held Boeing themselves accountable in front of Senate and asked the questions that needed to be asked. And it turns out a lot of these planes that are indeed going out of the sky were manufactured by Boeing. Y'all gave Boeing extra money.
Yep.
What do you want us to do? We don't care.
Yeah, a lot of black people are feeling that way right now. You know, when every time we have something to say, nobody want to listen. They want to dismiss us. They want to say we're lazy, we're being victims, and they got everything negative to say about us. But now everybody calling, like I say, it's just getting started. It's just getting started. Y'all think you seen something? Oh, y'all haven't seen nothing yet. Oh, you just wait. And guess what? Guess what black people gonna be doing? Like, we told you. We told you. We've been telling you. You didn't want to listen. Stop calling us. Trust me. I told y'all on AD&C, you gonna be in the grocery store, and you gonna see them, and they're gonna be looking so spent. They're gonna be looking like they just had it, and they're gonna be trying to pick your brain. How did you survive? How did you go through this stuff? They're gonna tell you, you know, a black person been through so much in this country, and how did you do it? Because I'm just stressed out. I can't deal with this. Like, you'd be like, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we just know how to do that because we've been living that way forever.
Right. It's
second nature to us. Like losing a job, man, please. That happens all the time to black people.
Right.
We don't even cry about it.
Right.
But you got the folks crying about their federal job. Oh, I lost my federal job. That was my dream job. And you know how many black people had dream jobs and they just got cut? It happens, right? Oh, I can't pay for this. Oh, I can't pay for that. Yeah. As black people, we deal with that all the time. Yep. And guess what? We figure it out. We always figure it out because we can't use the color of our skin to get any kind of privilege. See, this is the deal. I told y'all some years ago, the time gonna come where their privilege is not gonna matter, because the rubber gonna meet the road, and they're gonna have to truly make it on their merit. You see, I'm cool with merit. I'm very fine with doing things by merit. Nobody have no kind of privilege, no special set asides, no DEI, none of that. Let's just do all merit. But I'm gonna tell you who will win by just merit alone: FBAs. Because this system has trained us to be 10 times smarter, 10 times better. And so if we're gonna talk about merit, we gonna rise to the top quick based off of merit. Because ain't nobody outwork us, ain't nobody outthink us, nobody out here out innovating us. We change trends, styles of clothing, shoes. We change music, man. Look, this country follows the trends of what we do, no matter what it is, good or even bad. They follow us. They follow everything that we do, because we are the leaders. Definitely the cultural leader of America for sure is us. But they don't know what to do. Even when we wasn't on TikTok for 12 hours, people were losing it. Where are the Americans are gone? No, what you mean the black people in America are gone. You didn't care about the other groups, you care about black people. And then when black people start going over there to Xiaohongshu app, right? They were happy. Like, oh my God, we having all these people coming over here. A lot of black people too coming over here. They were excited, the Chinese people, to see black people over there. Oh, they were so excited. Because let me tell y'all something about people throughout the world. When they had this like hatred for Americans, they talking about the folks. When we show up, oh, it's all, look, we can go just about every country as FBAs, and people gonna be happy to see you for the most part. Now, some of them European countries or some of them, Arab countries. But let me tell you about that. When FBAs show up, people think different. Now, they may treat, somebody in the diaspora, especially somebody from the African continent, if you come there to work for them, they're going to treat you any kind of way. But FBA don't come into the Arab countries looking for no job from nobody. They're putting up with their crap. They know we got that blue passport. We looked at different. Call what it is. I seen it happen. They treat FBAs completely different than they treat Africans throughout the world. That's why some Nigerians be trying to cosplay an FBA so they can get treated the same way. So, with that being said, we just gotta hold the line. We gotta chill our nerves. Don't come outside. Just chill out. Just be cool. Like I said, in a couple of months, man, we can get out there and start barbecuing. Why not? Shoot. Barbecue is a good thing to do. No, don't be wasting your time worrying about these people. Don't. No matter what they go through. We're like, watch it on TV, get your popcorn. Because I'll be having my popcorn watching them. I'm like, oh man, they dealing with it. Oh man, that's messed up. Definitely see it. But it's kind of
ain't got nothing to do with us.
Hey everybody, this is Mark Blanton, and this is
Dr. Latasha Blanton.
Come on business.
Black's powerful.
Is that you, Dynamite? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Black powerful. I can't agree because we grew out of poverty as a people. We didn't embrace poverty. We started getting it's all DC especially has always been known for government jobs. A lot of the sisters had government jobs. That's how they held it down. And then I also wanted to say that so it's not that easy just falling off the workforce after you've built things up. If you ain't got nothing. Sometimes the ones that didn't have nothing, their old lady got a good government job. So there you go. And then also look at I'm looking at the chess game going on. Trump said he's gonna make DC federal, meaning the feds will be in charge, sort of like martial law. And I guess that coincides with all these jobs being lost. because all these jobs being lost, that's not gonna make things better. It's make things worse. It's gonna spiral off into chaos. You know, I mean, if we don't have and they don't give, then we start taking. You know, and that goes for everybody because that job layoff it affects everybody, but it affects us harder because they got something to fall back on. We don't. I mean, a lot of times we don't. A lot of times we going from paycheck to paycheck, or we might have an extra paycheck in hold. So when that goes through, then you know. So yeah, we got just like the
like 7,000 jobs.
Yeah. Let me land on this. The Bible said it rains on the just and the unjust. Well, that's what's happening. Black power. Go for it.
Black power. I'm just saying, like, does that really affect us? Like, 7,000 jobs being cut. How many of those are actually Black FBA jobs?
Hey, the ones that they said was temporary jobs because they hire you on a temporary basis, say after 90 days or 190 days, then they hire you full time. Them people right there. Believe me, DC has got more black folks than white folks. Then that means that the average blue collar worker is gonna be black. You know, so there's gonna be a lot of us without. Now, I'm looking, a lot of people that I even know are looking at like, oh, well, those agencies weren't doing nothing no way. And so now all the money gets to come to the people. Well, what about the people who are losing everything? Losing houses, losing cars, their families can't eat, you know, might have to turn to coming on over here and let's push these reparations so we can get our own for our people. They won't have to worry about it. Powerful.
That's a good way of looking at it too. Yeah.
On that, brother. Chess game. They want us to fail. They want us to fail so that they can implement all these concentration camps that they got sitting on the wayside waiting on us.
Sir, they got a concentration camp for you waiting for us out there in Southern California called Death Valley. I said it once, I said it 1,000,000 times, and I'm going to say it again. The average temperature out there between June and September in Death Valley is 137 degrees. Connect the dots. Why do you think they call it Death Valley?
Oh, yeah, well, they got anchors.
There's a creek called Furnace Creek.
Yeah.
They have like 250 locations around the United States or more.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And it's coming. And the cold part about it is, you'll say, this is why we cannot have all this division amongst ourselves, because they're not going to ask if you're a diasporic African. They're not going to ask if you're an FBA. They're not going to ask if you're a tether. Hey, get your black ass up here, man, on this truck. They don't have the military out there doing it, locked and loaded.
Democrats were in office, I would agree. But the Republicans are in.
The Jewish, they don't kill us because we're Catholic. They don't kill us because we're Muslim.
Too. That's why I'm like, what? I don't know what this is.
They kill us because we're black. That's that.
Yeah. That's it. And then, like I said, and I've crossed Death Valley, as you know, Brother Che, quite a few times. And man, it is 300 miles long, and I think 200 miles wide. You know what I'm saying? It's a stretch. You see what I mean? And then on top of it too, when you get out here into Nevada, and that's why I invite white folks out here in about, let me see, now when we have our temperature about 118 degrees, you know, Joe.
Yeah, but Dominic, what were your thoughts on these other groups begging for our help?
Hey, what's happening?
That was the whole topic right there.
I'm listening. Actually, I'm on. Oh, sorry about that, y'all. I had to answer the call. Go ahead.
Okay. What were your thoughts on these other groups begging for our help? Oh, he's on the call.
Repeat the question. Repeat that, please.
What are your thoughts on these other groups begging for our help?
Well, we have to be self-sufficient and help ourselves. You know, we can't help them. How are we going to help them? We need help ourselves, and then they're supposed to be going to us. All the help that's not coming to us is going to them, and they get to them quick because I don't know what they're like with no problem at all. We get all kind of problems trying to get help, and they don't get none. You know, no problems at all.
That part.
Be all minorities in the struggle and all of that bull jive.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And then also, too, I'm going to have to sign off, folks, in about 20 minutes here to say the data.
We got to end it anyway because we only supposed to be on for 2 hours and we're about 10 minutes away from that.
So at the 2 hour mark, we'll wrap it up. And then also, too, let's get on the Democrats HR 40. And then also, too, Brother Che, I'm on.
Well, we did cover that on the Frontline Black News, but basically, it's a nothing burger black family. Don't even waste your time with the bullshit.
Oh, you're talking about Democrats HR 40? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a nothing burger commission to study a proposal to create a commission to study reparations. No, y'all don't need to study shit. We already studied it. There's been enough studies done. You just need to cut the goddamn.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's a study, and they're gonna turn the study down. And they've already studied them so many times. It's like that's I don't know what that is. That's
what it was, Shabaka.
Hold on.
I had a clip about Ralph Yarl, and we'll close out with that. But
I'm trying to get this brother.
And let me say that before you get to the clip. And then, of course, we most definitely want to save. I want to save some data because we definitely got to pay tribute and recognize Nina Simone. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I would play Mississippi Goddamn, but they've been copyrighting our damn videos.
Yeah, so we because they've been telling me that same bullshit. Okay, so therefore, so we'll
family and fellow.
You know what I'm saying? And it was made, if memory serves me correct, Brother Che, it was made around the time that Viola Luiso had came up missing, and I believe that there was either 1964 or 1965. Okay, because the cold part about it is I had the record. Okay, I played it for a group of people or a group of black folks who didn't understand it for what. They wanted to hear some cuts and out tapes and what have you. So that's why I played Mississippi Goddamn.
Yeah.
Couldn't relate to it, but I heard kill a nigga, shoot a nigga, and all this old bullshit. They were all for it. My, to quote Sheikh Imam Akbar. They say, you're going to cheer garbage.
Dynamite. So we have one more topic we was going to get to before we close it out.
Before we switch, we were talking about that HR study. I got a brother in California who has been rocking with the reparations committee, Big Money Griff. He's him and Steve Begging.
We're familiar with Big Money Griff. We've had him on our platform before.
Oh, okay. Well, Big Money, sit there with me.
All right, yes, sir.
Big Money Griff, how you doing?
Yeah. Oh, happy Black History Month to everybody.
Black, as I've said, Black History is 365 days a year. It's been here since the beginning of time, and it will be here until the end of time.
Well, Big Money Griff, on top of that study that's going on out there, what do you say about that, brother?
Well, the only thing I wanted to say, Black was that I was very upset with Steve Bradford writing that 1403. It was a keeping bid after 420 years, and it didn't have to be turned about. And it bothered me, so I went ahead and I'm going to run to Canada because we got to put the meat on the bone. And Denise DePrima, who was on the show this morning, that talks about the
Oh, this morning I'm gonna have to check that out because
okay, the telemetry is fading in and out. Dynamite.
Let them know I'm gonna check that out, Dynamite.
Let that brother talk. People are trying to listen to that brother, and y'all not. She never tried. Yeah, she never tried to. She never brought it up, and I gave her the documentation of substantiation and verification of the information, and she refused to bring it up. I got a problem with that, bro. You know, it's like we're stuck on stupid. Some of us are stuck on stupid, and there's reason why we should have reparations and not us. We were the first best friends black folks ever had for over 400 years. And this nigga wrote a bill that didn't have any meat on the bone. I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that. For her not to bring it up, I gave her the documentation to let her know that even though LA City with Karen Bass has for reparations, and there's not one thing in that that's talking about inventors, black inventors. I've got a problem with that. They're second in line with Karen Bass. And I said to her, how come there's nothing in the book that's talking about black inventors? She said, well, I don't know. I haven't looked at the book. And there was a Mexican girl who was in charge. She said, well, I did read all 400 pages, and I can tell you that there's nothing in the book that talks about black inventors. I don't know about you guys, but I got a problem with that. So I confessed about that the other day, and I seen him during Dr. Martin Luther King holiday, because we had it, Monday. And he told me don't second guess him, because I don't know him, check his record and check him, because he's about blackness. But ain't nobody talking about that, man. I don't know about y'all, but we need to put some heat on these sorry sellout Negroes, man.
I feel you, Big Money.
I said enough. This is a lot more, but I got to keep it dry.
Make it blood.
Yeah, and then also too, Big Money, you ain't had no damage out there to you, man, with those fires and those mudslides that came down, are you?
Big Money. The mudslides are fires hitting you up there.
Okay, now in terms of the fires, I'm glad you brought that up, because I brought it up on the radio. I happened to bear down, and I didn't want to. I was reluctant. But Johnny Cochran taught me well. He said, Big Money, never ask a question that you already know the answer to. True story. Danny Bakewell Jr. was on the radio that morning, on the front page. And his assistant now, she's just dealing with her issues. She knows she's slow. She don't know nothing. She don't know shit. But at the same time, I said, Danny Bakewell Jr., yes, sir. Big Money. Can we have multiple life insurance policies and multiple fire insurance policies? Oh, no, Big Money. I can't see why we can have that. But if you were to Google, when you get off the phone with me right now and say, Google, can you have multiple life insurance policies and multiple fire insurance policies? And it will tell you yes. So I went on a day who called in too. I said, and so the guy said, well, Big Money wants to know whether or not you can have multiple life insurance policies. Well, you're not going to tell me that Colonial Penn is not going to take your $99.99. You're not going to tell me that Mutual Omaha is not going to take your $6 for life insurance. You're not going to tell me that a fire insurance company is going to not take your money, and then another fire insurance. And if you got three generations living in your household, you and your husband, your friends, your siblings, and your grandparents, why can't you afford a double fire insurance policy or life insurance policy? Come on, man, we gotta start thinking outside the box. It's time to think. We can't
now let me ask you this, Big Money.
Right?
Okay, now let me ask.
Again, ticking time.
Shabaka, we got 2 minutes.
All right, let's start our closing for right now, and hold on to that thought, Big Money, because I was going to ask you about that corrupt-ass California Department of Insurance, which is a fucking joke. Okay, but we're going to start our closing statement, so everybody please earmark that subject right there for our next presentation. Okay, hey, thank you for joining Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. You know what I'm saying? We're Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chades. We definitely appreciate our Denver office there with Brother Che and Kruma, although he's back there with ponies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and what have you. Definitely appreciate Brother Kahari joining us. Definitely, of course, Dynamite, and definitely, of course, Big Money Griff. And definitely appreciate Ambassador Sheikh Imam Akbar for joining us this morning. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm signing off for Las Vegas, Nevada, out here in Sin City. You know what I mean? Because I got some runs to make, and let's try to get together and generate some revenue, Black family, for these platforms, man. You know what I mean? Because they're trying to shut us down. I ain't going down without a fight, man. You know what I'm saying? I already been knocked down. To quote the words of the heavyweight champion, it's bad enough to get knocked down, but worse to stay down. I'm talking about Ali, that is. I refuse to stay down here at 65 years old and in deteriorating health and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, and I know with these brilliant minds that we have all across the board, we can make something happen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm out from Las Vegas, Nevada. Y'all take care. Okay, Brother Che, I'll give you a call later on today, man.
Okay. Dynamite statement. Brother Kahari, joining us, Shabaka, first.
All right, I'm out. Okay.
Dynamite. Go ahead, Big Money Griff. What's your closing statement, sir?
Well, the only closing statement I would add is that here we are in Black History Month, and we need to step up our game and let them know that in order to win the next time around, we've got to get rid of the electoral college. Why, Big Money? Because the electoral college came into existence during slavery, before the United States Constitution. Yeah. And we know that the electoral college has a selection of 7 states. And we know that of the 7 states, white people can afford to move to those 7 states, where black people don't move. We don't move. We go outside our own neighborhood. But the bottom line is this: if we are going to make a headway here, we got to do what Albert Einstein said. The quickest way to insanity is to keep doing the same thing the same way and expect a different result. We got to do something different. And so what Big Money Griff is saying, spread the word what you heard, and I need you to spread the word what you heard. It doesn't have to come from me. It can come from anybody. But at the same time, what you say is that I heard through the grapevine. I heard through the grapevine that we need to get rid of the electoral college, because everybody's vote in America should count. That is our civic duty. And as a result of that being our civic duty, Republicans as well as Black, as well as independent people will all agree that everybody's vote should count. So nobody should come to nobody and say, I registered to vote, but my vote didn't count because when I turned the TV on, I saw where Donald Trump was elected. Well, that will never happen again. We can't have that happen because now everybody's vote is going to count. And so I need you to spread the word what you heard on how we need to strategize to get our people to realize that in spite of all past years' adversity, success can still be obtained. We can still win this thing, but we got to do it strategically. And we got to do it, I guess you could say, well, I said it that way. Strategically. You said it right. Get rid of the electoral. So we don't have slavery in America no more. There's nobody working from sun up to sundown with free labor. So what the hell we got this? And Google it. Google it. The electoral college in the Constitution, the answer's going to be, and Google's going to say no, it's not. So therefore, all we need is 2/3 vote from every state in the United States, And these knuckleheads who voted for Donald Trump now are ready to sign off and say, I will be part of that 2/3 vote to see if we can get rid of the Electoral College so we can have the popular vote, because Donald Trump won on 156,000 votes against Kamala Harris. And so what I'm saying to you all is that it's time for us to do something different. That's too much information. That's enough, man. That's enough, man.
I got music.
I'm out.
Yeah, we gotta go. Donna Mike, what's your closing? Thank you, Big Money Griff, for sharing that.
A musical closing statement. Original too. Let me see. Musical.
Dynamite.
Yes, sir.
Is everybody there that want to give us closing statements?
Oh, yes. Closing statement is saying in the background. None of us are free until all of us are free.
That's right.
Justice. When do we want it? Now. And tell me how we going to take it. By any means necessary. Black power.
Black power.
Pete.
Okay, thank you for joining us, Dynamite. Kahari, what is your closing statement?
We got Brother Pete on the line too. He was going to.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Pete. What's your closing statement, sir?
I was just listening to what everybody was saying, and my mentor stressed me that the playground was just shut down. There's no more time. We keep talking reparations. I keep hearing that word pop up. They're not going to give me reparations. Why do we keep asking for it?
Well, they're going to keep losing then. We're asking for it because it's a debt that's owed. That's why.
That's right.
They're going to give it to us or not. We're asking for it because it's a debt that's owed.
We never win, and a winner never quits. All right, so a winner never wins, a quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. And we ain't never been known to quit. Shit, we been fighting this shit since we was enslaved over here. And everybody just out there, and they ain't no better than us, and they may not be as good. I'm not buying that shit. There's nothing but shit is great. That's all it is. Are y'all finished?
Yes, go ahead, Brother Pete. Finish your statement.
And I'm going to ask the question again. And then I'm going to finish. I'm not going to ask for the question behind that. Why we keep asking for it? Stop asking for it. Thank you.
Well, we plan to do that.
Make your heart at it. Thank you. You ask for something, they ain't going to do it. You ask for something that you have to give you. Stop asking for it.
Okay. Well, there's a difference between demanding and asking. We're demanding. We're not asking. This is a debt that's owed. So if the Democrats want to win elections, they're going to have to cut the check. Otherwise, they're going to keep losing. We sent a clear message this past election cycle. Enough is enough for this madness. So they can keep ignoring their base. They just going to keep losing. And J.D. Vance will be the president in 2028, 2032, 2036, however long it takes. It's a generational long fight. We in it for the long haul. We ain't got no defeated mentality around here. We're going to get what's right.
Take what's ours and stop asking them to do study on some shit that they owe us. It's just like if you saw somebody in the street that owes you some money, and he keeps talking about, well, we're doing a study on it. So, man, you get money by tomorrow, or I'm going to take money by tomorrow. Exactly. One way or another, we can get ours. And I say that we...
Let me say something.
Yeah.
Let me say something here. For all the brains that listen, and I see that there's some intelligent brains here. But let me see if they really understand this one. What would y'all say to me if I told you that the revolution can be won in 24 hours without firing near?
they have.
May I respond? May I respond?
Go ahead, brother.
Boycott. 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 Number two, all the Negroes we put up there and sold us out. Just like Steve Bradford did on 14-12-3. They sold us out for kibbles and bits.
Yeah.
Everybody that we put up there sold us out. And we sitting back waiting on them. And they got there, they're the same Negroes that says, I got mine, and I'm not going to help you get yours.
Yeah.
We got this.
Those are the same Negroes.
You didn't say that, though. You didn't say that, but you didn't say it.
Brother, I'm not here to argue with you. Are you going to listen to me
Hold on, y'all. You're supposed to be giving closing statements, not asking questions. It's supposed to be closing statements. You got to wrap this up.
I heard the answer, but I'm trying to respond. And when I try to respond to the answer,
respond and make your closing because we're technically in overtime. And we're supposed to have wrapped the show up 10 minutes ago.
There you go. Box down.
Well, my statement is to wrap it up.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this is going to conclude season 10, episode 6 of Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase in conjunction with the Frontline Black News. Appreciate everybody that tapped in. Big Money Griff. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Brother Pete. Shout out to Brother Kahari. Brother Kahari, you're muted. What is your closing statement, sir? Okay, I guess he's just listening. All right, so thank you for joining us, Kahari. Thank you for joining us, Shabaka. Thank you for everybody that tapped in on the chat. Shout out to the MD. MD came in the building. Shout out to him. Shout out to Crew. Crew's in the building. He says, B1, all facts, Jesse, yes, sir. And shout out to the Jab Jamboree for tapping in with us as well. And Twin and Mac 285. So join us tomorrow for Frontline Black News Season 4. Episode 48, part 1 of the Frontline Black News. In the meantime, make sure y'all like and subscribe to all of our platforms. Frontline Black News on YouTube and Facebook. The Revolutionary Agenda on YouTube and Facebook. And Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you for joining us. Also, Sheikh Akbar, the ambassador now. He's been promoted to an ambassador, I've seen. So shout out to him.
Black powerful. And don't forget, we did Saturday, 8 o'clock on Facebook on Black Ophenham Lion TV.
Yeah, make sure y'all
Black History Tribute. Yep.
I'll put the link in the chat.
Black History Tribute. Black Ophenham Lion TV. Yep. Did P. Newton's birthday the other day. Fannie Lou Hamer, Mary McLeod Bethune, all the sisters and brothers in the revolutionary struggle. Yep.
Yes, sir. So thank y'all for tapping in. Peace, love, light, reparations, and separations of Black empowerment. Chan Krumah signing out from the Mile High Income and Illegal Migrant Flooded City. Mass deported now city known as Aurora, Colorado, which is a sundown town. Peace.
One love.